Namaste, angels. This is the daily reading for May 30th. I'm going to go straight to the significant events. And the first is one that I mentioned during the weekly reading, rather, not realizing that the day fell within this week. And it is about Joan of Arc. I mentioned how she was 17 when she led the war, and then consequently she was ultimately put to death for having impersonated a man. Well, today, on this day in the year 1431, was the 100 Years' War. 19-year-old Joan of Arc is burned at the stake by an English-dominated tribunal in Rouen, France. So by the time she was found guilty and sentenced to death, she was 19. 19 also came up quite a bit in this weekend's readings. I don't remember which one it was. I think it was the love reading. Anyway, moving on to 1539, Spanish explorer Hernando de Soto discovers Florida. 1848, Mexico ratifies the treaty giving U.S. New Mexico, California, and parts of Nevada, Utah, Arizona, and Colorado in exchange for $15 million. Isn't that sad? And what they're going through now, how we want to build a wall to keep them out. That was all their land. 1868, Decoration Day, later called Memorial Day, is first observed in northern U.S. states. This is not true. On May 1st, in the year 1865, Memorial Day was started by freed slaves, former slaves. This is incorrect, I promise you. In any case, Decoration Day may have started on this day, but they say later called Memorial Day. Memorial Day was started on May 1st, 1865, I promise. Anyway, moving on. 1913, which is, it's nothing. Treaty of London, signed by the great powers, the Ottoman Empire and the victorious Balkan League, which is Serbia, Greece, the Kingdom of Bulgaria, and Montenegro, bringing an end to the First Balkan War. Did you know former Chad dictator Hissène Habre is convicted of crimes against humanity by the Extraordinary African Chambers, the first ex-head of state convicted of the charge. This happened on May 30th in the year 2016. Famous birthdays: Alexander Nevsky, Henry Addington, Gail Sayers, Brian Kobilka, Tom Morello, Indina Menzel. Would you believe future U.S. President Andrew Jackson kills Charles Dickinson in a duel after Dickinson accused Jackson's wife of bigamy? This happened on May 30th in the year 1806. Famous weddings. 1536, English King Henry VIII marries Jane Seymour, his third wife. 1797, abolitionist William Wilberforce, 37, weds Barbara Spooner, 25, at St. Swithin's Church in Walcott, Bath. 1927, Academy Award-winning actor Frederick March, 29, marries actress Florence Eldridge. 1967, country singer Dolly Parton, 20, weds Carl Dean, 23, in Ringgold, Georgia. 1967 is an 11/11. 1992, Paul Simon weds Eddie Brickell. Famous deaths: Joan of Arc, Alexander Pope, Voltaire, Wilbur Wright, John Singleton Mosby, and Boris Pasternak. Boris Pasternak was really named Boris Leonidovich Pasternak. He was Russian, a novelist and a poet. He's author of Dr. Zhivago. He was born on February 10th in 1890, which is 9/9, and he was an Aquarius from Moscow, Russia. He died on May 30th in 1960 at the age of 70 of lung cancer. John Singleton Mosby was American, and his profession is he was the Gray Ghost, a Confederate Army Cavalry Battalion commander in the American Civil War, nicknamed the Gray Ghost. His command, the 43rd Battalion, 1st Virginia Cavalry, known as Mosby's Rangers or Mosby's Raiders, was a partisan ranger unit noted for its lightning-quick raids and its ability to elude Union Army pursuers and disappear, blending in with the local farmers and townsmen. He was born on December 6th in the year 1833 and was a Sagittarius from Powhatan County, Virginia, USA. He died on May 30th in 1916 at the age of 82. Wilbur Wright was an aviator known for inventing and building the world's first successful airplane with his brother Orville Wright. He was born on April 16th in 1867, which is another 1111. He was an Aries from Millville, Indiana, USA. He died on May 30th in the year 1912 at the age of 45 of typhoid fever. Voltaire was French and a philosopher. His full name was Francois Marie Arouet, not Voltaire at all. French Enlightenment writer, historian, and philosopher famous for his wit, his attacks on the established Catholic Church, and his advocacy of freedom of religion, freedom of expression, and the separation of church and state. He was born on November 21st in the year 1694. He was a Scorpio from Paris, France. He died on May 30th in 1778 at the age of 83. Alexander Pope was English and a poet, best known for his satirical verse and his translation of Homer. Famous for his use of the heroic couplet, he is the third most frequently quoted writer in the Oxford Dictionary of Quotations after Shakespeare and Tennyson. He was born on May 21st in 1688 and was a Gemini from London, England. May 21st, Biggie's birthday. He died on May 30th in the year 1744 at the age of 56. There's a bunch of sirens on that note. Joan of Arc was French, a French soldier and national heroine. Nicknamed the Maid of Orleans, Joan of Arc was born around 1410 into a peasant family and into a France beset by internal conflicts and under attack from the English. At the age of 12, she claimed to have had her first vision of saints and angels, eventually exhorting her to aid France in driving out the English. 12 is a very special age. I won't go into it now, but Jesus at 12 is when he was found teaching the elders. Mary at 12 is when she left essentially what was the convent where she was raised. Her parents had dropped her off at the age of 3. A lot of stuff happens at 12. Today, 12 is the age at which Christian or Catholic, specifically Roman Catholic children in particular, go through confirmation. And that's when they themselves decide that yes, I want to be Roman Catholic. And it is also the age that some Jewish children are bar or bat mitzvah, if not at 12, at 13. Okay, moving along. Arriving with the French army, she successfully led attacks that broke the siege of Orleans in the year 1430, dressed in a suit of armor. She later helped to lead the army to Rheims, where King Charles VII was crowned. Joan of Arc was captured during an engagement at Company, Compiègne, and she was put on trial by the English supporter, the French Bishop Pierre Cauchon. The trial began in January of 1431. Joan of Arc withstood days of interrogation before being found guilty of the charge of dressing in men's clothing. Joan agreed to don women's clothing, but when she wore men's clothing again to avoid rape, she was condemned for heresy and burned at the stake on May 30th. A retrial 25 years later found her innocent. She was canonized by the Catholic Church in the year 1920. She was born on January 15th in 1412 and was a Capricorn from Domremy, Duchy of Bar, France. She died on May 30th, 1431 at the age of 19, executed and burnt at the stake. She was the last of the deaths. Going up to the birthdays, Idina Menzel is an actress and singer. She rose to prominence when she originated in the role of Maureen Johnson in the Broadway musical Rent, a role which she reprised for the 2005 feature film adaptation of the musical. Also known for originating the role of Elphaba in the Broadway musical Wicked, and for providing the voice of Elsa in the Disney film Frozen. She was born on May 30th in 1971 and is 46 years old, a Gemini from Queens, New York, USA. Tom Morello is American and a guitarist, best known as the guitarist for American rock band Rage Against the Machine. Morello went on to form the rock group Audioslave after Zach De La Rocha's departure from Rage Against the Machine in 2000. He was born on May 30th in 1964 and is 53 years old, a Gemini from New York City, New York. Brian Kobilka is 62, an American professor, 2012 Nobel Prize winner in chemistry for G-protein coupled receptors. He was born on May 30th in 1955, which is 11. He is 62 years old, a Gemini from Little Falls, Minnesota, USA. Gale Sayers is 74 years old, another 11 there, NFL running back known as the Kansas Comet. He was a running back for the Chicago Bears for 7 seasons during the 1960s and 1970s. Born on May 30th in 1943, he is 74 years old, a Gemini from Wichita, Kansas, USA. Henry Addington was British, a British prime minister. The son of a physician, Henry Addington's rise to political life after becoming an MP in 1789 was aided by his childhood friendship with William Pitt the Younger. Addington became prime minister in 1801 after Pitt's resignation over the issue of Catholic emancipation. In 1802, which is 11, he signed the Peace of Amiens, ending an expensive war with France. In the same year, he made the first ever budget speech to Parliament. Pitt's opposition to his government and the resumption of war led to Addington's resignation in 1804, which is 1111. In 1812, Addington became Home Secretary in Pitt's second government and served in his office for 12 years. He gained a reputation for being reactionary and repressive during a troubled period. In 1817, he had Habeas Corpus Act suspended, and in 1819 introduced 4 of the 6 acts designed to limit public protest. He was born on May 30th in 1757 and was a jerk apparently, but also a Gemini from London, England, United Kingdom. He died on February 15th in 1844 at the age of 86. And lastly, Alexander Nevsky was Russian, a key figure of medieval Rus, or Rus, R-U-S, the Prince of Novgorod, Grand Prince of Kiev, and Grand Prince of Vladimir during some of the most trying times in the city's history. He rose to legendary status on account of his military victories over the German and Swedish invaders. He was born on May 30th in 1220 and was a Gemini from Peroslav, Zaleski, Vladimir, Suzdal, which is now Russia. He died on November 14th in 1263 at the age of 43. May 30th is also my youngest niece's birthday. She too, like her auntie, is a Gemini. Going to the dice. I'm beginning with email. Dirty movie. And spin money. Spirit says party. Yes. And weekend away. Going to the cards, I'm beginning with the 9 of Autumn. Your success has brought you financial security and the reward of much deserved time off to enjoy your own company. You may suddenly have a brilliant idea for a business or a self-employment opportunity that will be very successful. Opening 2, the Ace of Summer. This is the beginning of a new emotional experience for you. It may be the first blush of romantic love. the rebirth of a current relationship, or the awakening of spiritual gifts and insights. Maybe that's why you need to spend time by yourself. Like spiritual awakening. Ace of Summer. Oh, nope. For most of us, I think it has something to do with a relationship. Opening now to the Queen of Summer, who's compassionate, loving, caring, and psychic. She's also very giving. She is a Scorpio, but can also be a Cancer or Pisces or anyone likened to these traits or attributes. This is a time of deep emotions and heightened intuition that you can trust completely. Be mindful that you don't ignore your own needs while caring for others. So remember, the die just gave us spend money. You should do that in nurturing yourself first and foremost. And remember also, we started with the 9 of Earth, which is about nurturing yourself and spending time with yourself. That means that, you know, go down to the salon and get a massage, your nails done, your hair done, whatever it is you like to do. Back to the Ace of Summer. And opening to the King of Winter, who's intelligent, impartial, respected, and unemotional. Also an Aquarius, Gemini, or Libra. I think this day may be an Aquarius moon, actually, now that I think about it. Also, the day prior, which was the same day as the full moon, Mercury, the King of Winter, entered Gemini, the King of Winter, which it rules. At this time, it's very important that you communicate clearly, be objective and unemotional, and act as professionally as possible. If you need advice, seek out the most experienced expert that you can find. This could be an air sign and a water sign getting together. I'm feeling a lot of the air sign. This could just represent love, but it could be something involving, for the most part, air signs, although we can all find love. We'll just have to take on this energy of being honest about it, this energy of the King of Air, so that we can be forthright, right? Ace of Summer. And strength still has not left us. It's been around throughout the weekend, all the readings that I did over the weekend and thus far this week. Strength, of course, again, represents the sign of Leo. And Leo, currently the North Node, otherwise known as the True Node. True strength, speaking of the True Node, is displayed through kindness, forgiveness, and compassion. You have tremendous personal power and courage. So that would help you to be that forthright King of Air type of person in this love situation or a situation that's going to involve you joy. Like you can't pretend that it's not going to make you happy and not like speak up for yourself and go after it, whatever this is. Not the time to be prideful. Ace of Summer. One more. It's the Prince of Autumn. Trustworthy, dedicated, protective, and funny. Could be a Virgo, also ruled by Mercury. But can also, of course, be a Capricorn or Taurus or anybody likened to these traits or attributes. It's important to make a detailed plan before starting any new endeavor. Once you have that plan in place, then you can take immediate action and get as much accomplished as possible. So maybe a Prince of Autumn is involved in this bringing of joy or receiving of joy. Ace of Summer. And we started with a 9. We're back on a 9. It's the 9 of Summer this time, though, which is all about prayers being answered, wishes being granted, dreams coming true. Now's the time. When your dreams come true, don't worry about how this will happen. Just give gratitude to God for all that you have and all that's still to come. The overall energy, which was, I think, at the heart of the matter the day prior, if I remember correctly, is the 4 of Spring or 4 of Wands. It's time to kick back, relax, and celebrate all that you have. So this is when the joy is actually materialized, manifested in your life. Joy arises from success in your career, the completion of a project, or a very happy home life or relationship. The Four of Spring can also be about commitment, again, relationships, marriage even, engagements, all that stuff. And I had been seeing and feeling engagement since the first reading I did, I guess the general reading. And sure enough, one of my clients and Facebook friends posted on Facebook that she is now officially engaged. Crowning the masculine, it's the Emperor, which represents the signs of Scorpio and Aries, the planet Mars for me, which is currently located in Aquarius. Structure and organization are important right now. Don't be afraid to take a leadership role, as you have much wisdom to offer. So the need to take a leadership role showed up for the masculine in the general and or love readings as well. The Emperor can also be representative of an authority, or one's father. It could be the masculine as a father himself or a father figure for someone, if it's not one, a father figure for him. Surrounding the masculine, the Six of Spring, very nice. You may receive promotion, be chosen for a scholarship, or find that you're singled out for a special recognition. You have done an amazing job and you deserve all the attention. This is that energy of Sagittarius from the full moon still lingering, not only with the masculine, but with us all. Remember, our overall energy is the Four of Spring. It's showing up here for the masculine as the Six of Spring, and we have this other fire energy showing up here in the form of Mars, again, ruler of Scorpio and Aries. At the root, speaking of Scorpio, it's the Tower, which represents the sign of Scorpio for me. Major Arcana card number 16. Important changes are coming to your life that will require you to take action. That's why you got to be a leader. Don't hesitate to move in new directions that you know are right for you. Wands cards are cards of movement. So he's got all the tools that he needs to get done what he needs to get done, and the energy of victory surrounding him, and authority, leadership. This should definitely be a good tower. Crowning the feminine, it's the Princess of Autumn. Cheerful, reliable, intelligent, and mischievous is the Princess of Autumn. She's also a Virgo for me, but can be a Capricorn or Taurus as well, or anyone likened to these traits or attributes. A wonderful opportunity related to your work or education, such as a promotion or scholarship, is coming your way. Seize this chance to learn something exciting or to start a more rewarding and uplifting career. Pages or princesses bring news. This one brings news of financial opportunity or other abundance on its way to you. Surrounding the feminine, it's Major Arcana card 21. Similar to the Tower, the difference is the world energy can be slow. It can be so slow that the person going through it can go from having sat on their hands and not doing anything to impatient and wanting to get out of a situation once they realize they're being pulled out of it. It can definitely require us to have to be patient. Congratulations on successfully accomplishing what you set out to do. You've made it through the challenges and incorporated the life lessons offered to you with grace and courage. Could involve a party of 3. Major Arcana card 21 equals 3. The Tower, on the other hand, what I was saying, if I didn't convey it clearly, is abrupt, right? This energy comes through very quickly and unexpectedly. At the root, the Four of Summer. Your responsibilities may distract you from noticing all the gifts that God is presenting to you. Be open to investigating opportunities that come your way. So, you get an opportunity to learn something new, to take on a promotion, change departments at work, right? Or start a new business or a new relationship, or whatever, perhaps with a Virgo or other earth sign. Don't just let it pass you by without checking it out, thinking about it, considering it, weighing the pros and cons. Crowning. It's the Magician, which represents for me the sign of Gemini. Can be one of the other mutable signs too. I've been extending it, but it first and foremost represents Gemini to me. Because Gemini, of the mutable signs are those which can take on the characteristics of all the other signs of the zodiac. So that would be Gemini, Virgo, Sagittarius, and Pisces. However, Gemini is the only twin. Gemini is the only one to the second power. So that's why, first and foremost, it represents the sign of Gemini. Not just because I'm biased or anything. It's about manifestation and the ability to bring whatever it is into your life that you want. And sometimes things that we don't want if we're not careful about what we're manifesting. If we're not thinking about all that God has blessed us with and will bless us with, if we're instead thinking about what we don't have, we can manifest stuff we don't want. At the root. It looks like we might be doing that, some of us. It's the 9 of Winter. Your worries and fears aren't real. They're fueled by focusing on the negative. I would say this is particularly the feminine. And the masculine could be afraid, too, of what appears to be coming his way. But given the placement of this card, the Tower, it's here in his subconscious. So he may be thinking about the negative as well. But if you think about the negative, you give power to that by which you're afraid of which you're afraid. Stop worrying, let go of fear, and everything will be okay. This card can also be about like anxiety and insomnia and the need for sleep and rest. At the heart of the matter, the King of Summer. A trustworthy person or relationship enters your life. You may receive wise and compassionate advice from someone who speaks directly from the heart. Again, the King of Summer is a Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces, and quite possibly a Scorpio, since he crosses the Emperor, which again represents the planet Mars for me, ruler of Scorpio, and he crosses the Tower, which represents the sign of Scorpio for me. This could easily be involving not just air and water, but more specifically Scorpio and Gemini. Other signs that may be particularly in play on this day, Aries and Sagittarius, as well as Virgo, or another earth sign, Capricorn, Taurus. Let's, since we have an upright card here, try to further clarify the feminine's world to see from what we may be being removed. Pain, hurt. Thank you, Lord. Right? Thank you, universe. Sadness is part of life, but you don't have to endure it alone. You may need a little time to heal, but once you work your way through the emotions, you'll be stronger than before. So this is also a 3, like the World, Major Arcana card number 21 equals 3. This is another 3. And this would indicate to me, clarification in this way, that the universe is bringing us out of a place of pain and into better times. So again, some good news comes our way. It could have been financial struggle and pain. It could be over relationship, again, perhaps with an earth sign, but love is coming our way with the King of Summer here at the heart of the matter. Remember, a trustworthy person or a relationship enters your life, or you may receive some sort of advice or something that makes you feel good. Can you know it's compassionate and it's from the heart, whoever gives you this advice. So that could be what helps you. If this is, some sort of situation through which you need support. The masculine's Tower. The Prince of Spring, which also can be a Scorpio, because again, Scorpio is ruled by Mars, which is the red planet and ruler of fellow fire sign, Aries. Passionate, charismatic, confident, and restless is the Prince of Spring. Maybe that's why this is in his subconscious, right? He's restless. He's thinking about this. I want to make a move toward love, but I'm scared. An opportunity arises that needs your immediate attention. Okay, right away. Moving quickly is important. Yet, there's nothing you can't handle if you follow the inner guidance. So this tower could be representing a revelation into which the masculine comes very suddenly. Light bulb went off. I know what I got to do. I got to take off running to, save the princess. I'm a little scared though. The Prince of Spring can be a Sagittarius, like the full moon, and Aries, like the Emperor. A Leo, like Major Arcana card Strength, which has been showing up to support us. Or a Scorpio, like the King of Summer, or the Emperor, again, which shares a ruler with Aries. And lastly, since we have another upright card, they're being quite generous with us today, let's check out the Magician. What is it that most of us are trying to manifest, universe? Love and happiness, joy, being surrounded by people about which we care and who care about us. Maybe romantic partnership, maybe just friends and or family. It's time to express your love and appreciation for family, be it relatives, like blood relations, or a chosen family of close friends. Congratulations may be in order on a happy, fulfilling marriage, as well as raising happy and balanced children. Whatever it is, any of those or something else completely, it is something that makes you happy, brings you joy. You feel good surrounded by family and or friends, and even if it's just one, right? One other. It's a romantic interest or a bestie or something. You feel good. Masculine, this tower, when it comes up, go for it. You're going to be victorious. You have it in you to take the lead and be a little bit aggressive in a positive way, as opposed to like some sort of toxic aggression where you're just out of control. You've got your own life by the reins, right? You're not relinquishing control to anybody else when you have the energy of the Emperor. So you've got it in you to do this. Feminine, leave this in the past. Whatever this pain was, hurt was, feeling of loss, even if it was an actual loss, financial loss, money comes and goes. It's of the earthly, it's tangible, but we recover, right? We fall down, we get back up. Further advice to the masculine, the King of Winter, intelligent, impartial, respected, unemotional. Is this Gemini, Aquarius, Libra, or someone likened to these traits or attributes? At this time, masculine, it is very important that you communicate clearly, be objective and unemotional, and act as professionally as possible. If you need advice before going into whatever this is you want to go into, pursuing something that's going to bring you joy, or someone that's going to bring you joy, or both, get the advice before you run off half-cocked. Okay, seek out the most experienced expert that you can find in the area that you need, where you need help, and that might be God, that might be the universe, it might be however you refer to that source, and however you communicate with it. That may be what it is. It might not be a person on this plane, although it can be too. Sometimes that's the way God, universe, source works, through another being. Okay, so you'll decide what's appropriate for you. Feminine, the King of Autumn, compassionate, accomplished, charismatic, and grounded. Everything's going to turn out great, even if you have suffered a financial loss, even if you've had a difficulty in a relationship, even if that relationship was specifically with an earth sign. Everything's going to be fine. Exciting new career and perhaps romantic and relationship opportunities are possible. Money and resources that come your way will be invested wisely. And basically you have the Midas touch. The King of Autumn is a Capricorn, Virgo, or Taurus. I hope that you guys have enjoyed the daily reading and found it helpful. Namaste, angels.